buff it out. Woo, buff right out. Welcome to video 2 on the element repair series, and today we're going to be tearing into the transmission to see what's going on with it and hopefully make some repairs to where we can get her back on the road. Woo! Yes, need to get her on the road, get this baby sold, get some money in the bank. The daily struggle, the daily grind. We're going to make it work. Stay tuned, let's get to the video. Let's see, first off we're going to take this shift fork out, not shift fork, clutch fork, throw up bearing. Whew, that baby's not too good. Alright, so the issues we were having with this one was that whenever you would go to take off, it would popping, lunging, the works. So we're going to be tearing it apart and seeing what we got going on. So I drained this transmission when it was still in the car. So first I'm going to get this reverse sensor out. It's 27 millimeter. Alright, and we're going to take shift selector out. 4 10 millimeter bolts. 8 millimeter here on the front. Yep. And then use a pry bar. You usually get under it. Yeah. Like so. It comes right out. I'm gonna take this little sleeve out right there. There's a little pair of needle nose for that. I'll take these detent springs out. These have a little ball in each one of them. They have a ball and a spring and a aluminum washer. A little ball, steel ball. Alright, we'll flip it up on the end. And it might still have some fluid in it. So that's what the paper towels are for. The shaft sticks out a little further, so it won't sit flush. So we put a board on the edge of it. And then you take this plug out. I think that's a 14 Allen. Yeah. Oh, gone. Get our speed sensor out. It's 10 millimeter. Just twist out. The reverse holder is 14. Then we need to take all these bolts around the case off, and they're 12. I think all these bolts are the same length, so you don't have to keep up. Well, we got one back here by the drain plug that's a little longer. Yeah, this one right here is going to be longer. Now we got to spread our snap ring in here. So I'm just using a pair of snap ring pliers. Spread that out, the shaft drop, so it's good. All right, and then we need to split this case, just like so. Bada bing, bada wham. Ooh, I hear some metal rolling around. Oh yeah, got some differential ring gears sheared through. Shoot, might as well just go ahead and pull it on down. 10 millimeter to take these out right here. Pull these gear stacks out. Our ring gear on our differential is toast. The rest of it looks pretty good though. Alright, now we can clean this case out and see what we can do to reassemble it. Alright, so it's the next day, and I kind of got out here and got started with swapping over the gear set. So this is the gear set out of the element and the differential out of element. And then over here I have the gear set that was originally in my CRV transmission that's in my all-wheel drive Civic, and I also have the final drive ring gear here. All this was in really good shape with the exception of a second gear synchro, so I pulled the second gear synchro out of the element gear stack and put it over into the CRV second gear. So now what I'm going to do is swap the differential over onto the CRV ring gear, and then we can put this CRV gear set in the element transmission. Cheap fix, free fix, since I've already had the stuff. I took my 14 and got all these bolts loose out of the differential. Make sure that you start all these bolts by hand if you're changing the ring gear on the diff. Don't start them with an impact. And then just like a wheel, tighten them in a crisscross pattern. So now I'm just going to take some brake cleaner and clean out that diff, make sure it don't have any metal shavings in it. Awesome. So now I've got the differential ready to go back with the CRV gear set. These are the Element shift forks. I'm just going to inspect them and make sure they're still good to go. I don't really doubt that they're good. Just want to wipe them off and make sure they're not cracked or anything. That's good. Yeah, they all look pretty good. So now I just got to clean out the case. I need to tighten this back up too. That's the magnet out of the case. Look at that. Whew. All right, I got that cleaned up pretty well. It's still got a few little pieces on there, but it's a magnet. It's not gonna let them go. And now I'm gonna clean out this case real good. So I gotta take this off the 14 millimeter. So if you had a front wheel drive Element transmission, you want to make it all wheel drive, you could you'd have to put the ring gear on the differential, and then you'd have to put your transfer case here. You'd be good to go. This thing got metal in everywhere. All right, so I got all the silicone cleaned off of this for the most part. Got the case cleaned out, and now we're ready to reinstall the differential. Put our forks back on these. This goes in behind those. Alright, I guess we'll set it back in the shop now. It appears it's about to rain. Again, we gotta have a block of wood under it so that the main shaft's not bottoming out. We're about ready to put the outer case on, but I gotta put all the shift selectors and stuff back in. All the stuff over here in this tray. We put back in here, and then we gotta clean the outer case. It's got a bunch of metal in it too. Okay. Alright, so let's get this baby back together. Let's see here. Put a little silicone. It says gray RTV. I thought it'd be a good idea to buy it by a tube, but turned out it wasn't such a good idea. I don't use it enough. And it's clogged up the end, so I just take the end off when I need some. Alright, so I got a bead of silicone all the way around it. And now I'm gonna put the outer case on. I've already cleaned the outer case. Good and clean now. So alright, so I had a little setback. I went to put the speed sensor in, it was hitting third gear, and I guess unbeknownst to me, the third gear and element on the main shaft is a little smaller than the CRV, and then on the counter shaft it's a little bit bigger. So I had to pull it back apart and take the third gear from the from the element gear stack and put it on the CRV gear stack. So now we have basically a whole CRV gear stack minus third gear. So it will clear the speed sensor. So yeah, a little setback, but I think we've pretty much gotten it straight now. So I'm gonna finish assembling this transmission. All right, so real quickly again, there's two of these that are longer. So it's this one and this one. The rest of them are all the same length. So tighten these kind of like you do a tire, you know, side to side or crisscross. So it started raining, so if you get some background noise from the rain hitting the top of my metal shop, I apologize, but so the speed sensor's in now. Go ahead and do the reverse. The reverse goes here. 14mm bolt. Alright. Alignment dowel back in. Small bit of silicone around the bottom of this. Alright, so the shifter mechanism has 2 longer bolts and 2 shorter bolts. So the shorter bolts go here, and the longer bolts are here and here. Those are 10 mil. Got our reverse sensor. That's a 27. I gotta do our detents. So we have a little metal ball. Put it in each of these 3 holes. And then our spring. Make sure our aluminum washer is on here. Those 3 are 12s. Let's put this piece in the front on the shifter mechanism. Put a little bit on the threads. Should be good to go. It goes right here. And it's an 8 Allen. Alright. Feels like I got all the gears. So last thing I need to do is put this little cover back on, and if you had a manual, it wouldn't have, I'm sorry, all-wheel drive, it wouldn't have this. It have a transfer case here, and this just has a O-ring on it, so no need to reseal. Alright, now we just got to check the clutch and make sure it's good before I put the transmission all the way back in. And then also I'm going to come up with another throwout bearing, because this one doesn't exactly feel the best. Otherwise it's ready to go back in. But anyways, this is the end of video 2, but yeah, we replaced the final drive. Well, actually replaced more than just the final drive, so it now has CRV first, second, fourth, and fifth, element third, since the speed sensor runs off the third, and it has a CRV final drive. It still has the element differential. Hopefully you're getting some use out of this series. I don't know if you really are or not, because I'm just kind of showing you what I'm doing. I'm not really trying to do a tutorial per se on how to repair this. So anyways, if you're finding enjoyment, make sure you hit the subscribe and the bell so that you get notifications each time I post a video on this thing. And as always, you can like the video and comment. And last but not least, share it. Share it with your friends. Share it on your social media. Spread the word. Maybe I can help somebody else. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope to see you on the next one. Peace.